Appearing at the toy fair for the second time is Tonkin Replicas, so let's find out a bit more about the company.
Tonkin Group of companies has three primary companies. Tonkin Replicas Inc. in Seattle, Washington, which I own 100% of. We have TRIMS, or Tonkin in Cantonese, which was Tonkin Replicas Incorporated Manufacturing Services. That's owned 50% by myself and 50% by my wife, who's Hong Kong Chinese. And we have Tonkin Replicas Europe, which is owned 50% by Tonkin Replicas Inc. and 50% by IMC, which is run by Jupp Hansen.
And how does Tonkin look back over 2014?
2014 was all about integration of what we're doing. We have, between the three companies, 6 different mother languages, and we've taken on quite a few new OEMs, Caterpillar being the largest, being global distribution, but Kobelco and Linkbelt and Terex also being in there. So we spent most of our time smoothing out our international supply chain and finishing a lot of products that we had started, but also preparing for what is upcoming in Caterpillar for next year and other large OEMs such as Terex and Kobelco, etc. For Caterpillar, we're targeting working with only the best companies such as Caterpillar. But when we build with Caterpillar, or a company like Caterpillar, our goal is to build everything that they have when we get the opportunity to, and if we're allowed to. In order to do that in die casting, you have to build inside of groups. It's the only efficient way to build in a die cast model when you're building in massive quantities of new tooling. That's why the collectors have to be a little bit patient with us, because in groups we started out with a lot of wheel loaders, and Tonkin's doing a lot of wheel loaders. Be patient. We've done all the wheel loaders that CAT will allow us to do, and we'll move forward to another group in this year, and we can't talk quite yet about what that group is, but every year we'll be moving into a different group until we finish every piece of equipment that Caterpillar has that we're allowed to build by Caterpillar.
The Caterpillar 568 forestry models were on display, and the 555 wheel skidder was announced. Also looking good with the new wheel scrapers, so how does Tonkin work with an OEM such as Caterpillar?
With all of the OEMs, the first thing that we need to establish is what their standards are. They're not our standards, we're building to the OEM standards. Notaboom is a good example. They have very demanding standards because of the way that they pitch the product. Quality and detail is very important to them. For companies such as Caterpillar, you can't just build anything you want in Caterpillar. Caterpillar has the final say as to what gets built, and they also ask licensees to build within a certain price point, depending on the model. Of course, they have everything from small excavators up to global mining, but they don't want the models to be too expensive for a mainline licensee, and they don't want them to be toy quality either, so they're requesting that you build within a certain price point. Most OEMs have certain standards and expectations that they're looking to build, and each one is a little bit unique.
Tonkin is moving both fast and heavily to expand its range. So how does it react to feedback on its models?
With the exception of the trucks, we've had the construction licenses for a fairly short period of time. So we've been, with any licensee that you're bringing on, it's important to build and develop what their standards are. And you're always improving what you're doing. It's important to continue to get better and better and to refine the process as you go. We absolutely listen to a lot of collector feedback, and we love the reviews on cranes, etc. And we made some changes to a few of our models based on those reviews. It takes us a long time to see the changes in the market due to tooling changes, then it goes through packaging, then approval. A Caterpillar might have 3 or 4 levels of approval before it gets to the market, but we will absolutely take that into account, and people are patient. They can see improvements come along based on their own comments.
Of course, Tonkin has had a long history of making US trucks, but they are in 153 scale rather than the 150 scale that's common for construction and European trucks. So are there any plans to change this?
In the US, we tackled a number of scales, 1 to 87, 164, 153, and then later 130. We started, though, originally with 153, mostly because when Jack Tonkin started making die-cast models, he decided there was no one else really building scale model trucks, and he decided he wanted the model about this big. and about this big, which engineers took literally, was 153 scale, and we've built out since then over decades a large truck line that is based on 153. The other scales we've either acquired or taken on through partnerships over time, and the 130 scale trucks that we started were actually somewhat requested by Mark Piggott, who was the CEO of Packard at the time, because that's what he wanted. He was an industrial design engineer at Stanford. He's a guy that knows what he wants in terms of quality and size and standards, and as the customer has the ultimate say. It'll be an interesting choice for us coming up, because with Caterpillar, their primary scale is 150. Our partnership with Techno, with European cabs, and the 150 scale trailers we're building ourselves are in 150. Kobelco and Linkbelt are in 150. And so we have some interesting decisions to make in terms of how we continue to integrate, which we're a big believer in integrating. Our goal as a company is to make sure that we can service international customers anywhere in the globe. To do that, you're better off standardizing what you're doing. So we have some careful decisions to make as to how to do that and what to do in that regard. Those details haven't been set yet. We might need to check back on that the next Nuremberg show.
And finally, looking forward to 2015 and beyond, what will Tonkin's focus be?
I think what we're trying to do as a company is, it's important for us as the globe is getting smaller and smaller to be able to service the international companies, the international OEMs, such as Caterpillar, that have global presences. They're not just in Europe, they're not just in the US, they're not just in Asia. I think we're the only company that has a large facility in North America, in Europe, and in Asia, where we can do our own engineering and we can distribute worldwide. The kind of customers that we're targeting are those global companies. New for next year, we have Terex, we have the Linkbelt products coming, we have some Kobelco, and we recently signed a license with Manitowoc.
So Tonkin Replicas is certainly signed up with some big names. 2 Notaboom ballast carriers are in the works, as is another trailer, and the MCO PX trailers are now finished. Also coming are a couple of Terex cranes, although you can be sure they won't appear in these jazzy colour schemes.